Hey everyone, Joey here, and I want to tell you about all of the games that I've been playing over the last month, as well as since the last time we talked about games, which was my video in December where we did my year in gaming for 2025. So it's been a while. Let's talk about what I've been playing, especially since I've had a lot of time not being on YouTube and being on Twitch instead, which let me play a lot more games than I'm used to. So let's go over all of the list. Let's start with retro games first, and I have 10 games beaten since that video. We have Pokemon Odyssey, which was a ROM hack, Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation 1, Golden Sun for Game Boy Advance, Riviera The Promised Land, also Game Boy Advance, Altered Beast, which was Genesis, Parasite Eve, which was PlayStation 1, Sly Cooper, The Thieves Raccoon, whatever it's called, on PlayStation 2, it was number 1. Kirby's Dream Course, which was Super Nintendo, Luigi's Mansion, which is GameCube, and Pokemon Leaf Green, which was Game Boy Advance. Honestly, I had a lot of fun with most of these games, but the standout game from this list was Parasite Eve, which I played on the PC. This was my first time playing this game. I didn't really know anything about it. We played it on Twitch, so I streamed it all, and it is actually a fantastic game. It has sort of Resident Evil vibes. It's a horror type game, except without Resident Evil's puzzles or combat. The story is actually pretty interesting, and it's about a mutated virus affecting people, which is about as much as I want to give away for this. But the soundtrack was really good and awesome music. Combat was very interesting, and it wasn't a super long game. And it was just awesome from start to finish. I highly recommend Parasite Eve. It's a PlayStation 1 game, so it's very easy to play. Sly Cooper is one that I just finished for Game of the Month on the Discord, which you should come join to play our Game of the Month and ROM Hack of the Month and Game of the Season. I also played it on my PC and streamed it. It was fun, but also frustrating at the same time. The actual levels and gameplay of Sly was fun. I liked it. I super enjoyed pretty much all of it. But the mini games were not so fun. There is a few, like driving a truck around in a race, as well as some others, and I didn't find those to be very fun at all, and they showed up often enough to hamper my enjoyment a little bit. Now, this is a PS2 game. It plays like a PS2 platformer does, and I enjoyed my time with it overall. It was a really fun game, and I'm looking forward to playing Sly Cooper 2. Golden Sun is our game of the season. Well, number 1 and 2 are, both of them. And I'm still working on finishing number 2, phrasing, but Golden Sun is just awesome. I played both of these on the AYN Thor. The second screen really helped with having a guide up in Golden Sun 1, and it's been helping with Golden Sun 2 as well. I really love the Game Boy Advance art style. I mean, most Game Boy Advance games look great, but I enjoy Golden Sun's, and the combat is super fun, and the game is interesting. Now, it is your standard JRPG affair. With a team, you have cool combat, cool members, and all of that. It has some really cool out-of-combat mechanics where you can use something called synergy to do a whole bunch of different things. So it adds a level of just different things that you can do out in the world. Definitely one for people to play if you haven't already. I think it's on most top lists for JRPGs, so you're getting the good game here. Then just quickly on some others. Pokemon Odyssey is a Pokemon ROM hack that's sort of based on Etrian Odyssey. I don't know, I've never played Etrian Odyssey, but I used my AYN Thor to play this. It is a dungeon crawler, so it is very different than the normal Pokemon experience, which makes it a unique ROM hack in that way. I didn't enjoy this as much as I should have. They did this thing at the end where you basically get gated progression, and it's a massive step up in difficulty, and you have to kind of go grind or kind of cheat your way through it to pass it. And that's not something that I'm a big fan of, but overall it was fun. Just the ending was really bothering me. Riviera The Promised Land was our game of the month, and this was a very interesting, very different game that I also played on my AYN Thor. Also on Game Boy Advance, of course, but you are basically doing an exploration of each level, and each level has something different that happens. Could be a secret, could be items, could be all sorts of things. The combat and exploration definitely kept me playing this game, and I did enjoy this. I didn't love it. It was a unique game that I have not seen this gameplay in anything else, and so that made it interesting. Altered Beast was difficult until I looked up what to do, and then I understood how to beat it. This one we did live on PC. I actually always wanted to beat Altered Beast for a long time now, and I just never sat down and actually tried it. I'm glad I have, and it was very short, so it wasn't long at all. Enjoy this one. Altered Beast is pretty fun. Kirby's Dream Course was a weird little golf type game on the Super Nintendo where you have to basically hit Kirby into the hole. That's the game. And you get different Kirby powers and things to help make it easier or more difficult. This we played live on PC and I streamed it all. It was difficult at times with understanding where to hit to get into the hole, but that was part of the fun. Plus, you can just abuse save states to fix things, which I definitely did. Thank God for emulation. Luigi's Mansion is one that I've played and beaten the third game, not the second and never the first. And so I played this live on PC. I will say the first is rough. It needs a ton of quality of life improvements, with movement, exploration, and pretty much everything. It was a rough game to play on my end. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would have, but it was super short, so I can't be too angry at that. Then we get to Metal Gear Solid, and I played this on my AOI on Thor. And I don't want to get in trouble, Kojima fans are rabid, but I did not enjoy any of Metal Gear Solid. It was our game of the month, and so I pushed myself to finish it, and thankfully it is very short. But I just didn't find it to be a good game at all. The writing was really bad, which it's Kojima, so I fully expected that. But the rest didn't do much for me either. Maybe if I had played it when it actually came out way back when, it might have been a different experience, and of course it was a different time back then. But whatever it is, whatever reason, it just didn't do anything for me this year. Best for last here, and it is Pokemon Leaf Green. Played it on my AY and Thor. Second screen has been extremely useful for retro achievements lists, so I can figure out what I need to do next and if there's anything missing and all of that. Obviously, I have played this game many times over, hundreds of times. But I decided to finally go for mastery in retro achievements, and I'm almost done with that. I did it for Fire Red, and now I'm trying to do it with Leaf Green. I absolutely love these games. Fire Red and Leaf Green are the quintessential starter Pokemon experience in my opinion. If you've never played Pokemon for whatever reason, you want to start with Fire Red or Leaf Green, in my personal opinion. So for modern games beaten, there's been 16 of them since my year in gaming video in December. And it's Triangle Strategy, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Octopath Traveler 0, Live Alive, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, Life is Strange 2, The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, Life is Strange True Colors, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Hotline Miami, Little Nightmares 2, and Pokemon Pokopia. That is a lot of games, but let me see if I can group them up. For the Life is Strange games, Life is Strange 2 is an absolute masterpiece. I would hold it up right next to Life is Strange 1. Both of them are 10 out of 10 fantastic games. True Colors and Double Exposure are absolutely awful, and not good games at all, and The Adventures of Captain Spirit was a short demo, so I don't really have any thoughts about it. I did pre-order Reunion, and I'm hoping it is much better than the latest releases for Life is Strange. But if you have not played Life is Strange 1 or 2, you should. I used my 1X player Apex to play all of these games, and they all ran great. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo was so damn good, and we played this on PC and I streamed it. It is a retro-style modern game. You play as a mouse with a yo-yo, and it has very Zelda-like puzzles, but this game, man, it is a straight 10 out of 10 for me. They never run out of ideas for puzzles. They're legitimately fun. The combat and everything has a lot of depth, and the story is great. Music is just awesome too. If you want a modern game that plays like a retro game, you want Pipistrello. Shinobi Art of Vengeance is an awesome 2D platformer that I can't remember what I actually played it on. It was probably the Xbox Ally X. This isn't really like previous Shinobi games at all, but it has awesome art, awesome combat, and it's just fun all around. Not a long game, and if you like 2D platformers, you should play it. And just quickly, Hotline Miami was fun too. We played that on stream, and I've never really played it before. It was a fun, quick game as well. Definitely will be playing Hotline Miami 2 when I get a chance. I don't really know what games to compare these to, but they're just fun games. Two disappointing games were Little Nightmares 2 and Crisis Core. Little Nightmares 2 we played on PC, and it was such a big step down from Little Nightmares 1, which I absolutely loved. I didn't like the additions in the game or the fake combat that they added, and it just wasn't my thing. Crisis Core I played on my Apex, and that ran great. But it was fairly boring, in all honesty. I love Final Fantasy VII, and I love that world, and I love the remakes, but Crisis Core outside of cutscenes just really didn't do anything for me, so I didn't really enjoy it that much. I finally beat Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on my Apex after putting it off for years and years, and listen, I am not a Star Wars guy at all, but this is my favorite piece of Star Wars media, by far. Fallen Order is just great. I like the combat, I like the story, I like all of it. I bought Jedi Survivor, and I look forward to playing that pretty soon. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined was the first Dragon Quest game that I actually beat. I've played a whole bunch of them, I've never actually beaten any of them. Once again, using my Apex for this, and I super enjoyed it, and it ran perfectly. I had tried the originals many times for Dragon Quest VII, but I think the quality of life improvements with Dragon Quest VII Reimagined really helped me get into it this time. And it is a standard JRPG as usual, but this remake, I would say, is definitely better than the originals. And I beat it thanks to it. This is a 9 out of 10 game, it was super fun, and I highly suggest it. Live Alive was disappointing to me, and I can't remember what I used to play it. I played the Steam version, and I played it on one of my PC handhelds. I heard a lot of good things about Live Alive, and I kind of didn't enjoy my time with it. There were a few scenarios that I actually did enjoy, and I could definitely see how Octopath Traveler got its inspiration from it. But overall, it just hasn't stuck with me. I didn't hate it, I just didn't love it. It was a very unique type of game with a story and things that aren't really in anything else besides Octopath Traveler, and so that made it interesting to me. And so we get to Octopath Traveler 0, and this game is absolutely awesome, which I used my Xbox Ally X for most of it. Now, I bounced off of Octopath Traveler 1 and 2. I think mostly story-wise, they kind of didn't keep my interest, but Octopath Traveler 0 was awesome from the start. There is great bosses and enemies. The gameplay feels like a big improvement over the previous two entries. You can also swap in all 8 characters, which is pretty cool. I mean, there's more than 8 characters, but you can swap in the 8 in your party. The story is one overarching one, and so everything just feels like a better Octopath. I love this. Another game with an HD 2D style is Triangle Strategy, and after chipping away at it for a few years now on my Xbox Ally X, well, I finally finished it on the Xbox Ally X, but it was a very long game with a lot of text and a lot of story behind it. I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot what the actual story was by the end of the game, and I just kind of enjoyed the actual gameplay, which is just a strategy RPG, and I love strategy RPGs, so this was perfect for me. I think they just overdid this one a little bit with the text and the story and all of that, but the actual moment-to-moment gameplay was very fun. Then we get to Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Trilogy. Pretty sure that I used my Xbox Ally X for this one. And I love the original trilogy with Phoenix Wright, and I have mixed feelings about the Apollo Justice one. It felt pretty weak overall. I still enjoyed my time with it, but not as much as the original trilogy by far. I am still very excited to play Investigations, but yeah, definitely the weaker of the two trilogies so far. Saving the best for last here, and we have Pokemon Pokopia on the Switch 2. If this isn't going to get my game of the year by the end of this year, then I'm super excited to see what replaces this. Pokopia is and was fabulous. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, it doesn't matter. You should buy a Switch 2 for this game. Coming from somebody who doesn't even like the Switch 2, I have a lot of problems with it, you absolutely should. Now, I dug my Switch 2 out of storage for this. Hasn't been used since Donkey Kong Bonanza, and I loved every minute of Pokopia. I finished the main story with about 200-ish Pokemon. I'm right around there. I think it's like 195 or something like that. So I did quite a bit here. And I experienced pretty much everything in the game. I did all the quests, everything that I could do. It is an absolute blast. It is a awesome game from start to finish. It makes Animal Crossing look like an indie game. It just has so much depth and so much added. The devs actually cared and they put the effort in, which you don't really see from a Pokemon game usually. This is by far the best Pokemon game though since the 3DS era, with the exception of Let's Go Pikachu in my opinion. Not really a fan of the mainline Pokemon games for the last few that we've gotten. Now I could go on and on and on about this game, but yeah, who would have known that a cross between Animal Crossing and Dragon Quest Builders would be a hit? Yeah, and that's it. And so as for what I'm currently playing that I have not beaten yet, I'm playing Golden Sun 2 on my AOI and Thor, which is our game of the season. That's been very fun, like Golden Sun 1 is. Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflections, I think it's called. This is my first Monster Hunter Stories game that I've actually played. I played one demo like a long time ago, so I haven't really played it. 3 is awesome. I am so glad I bought this. It is a monster catching game. It isn't the normal Monster Hunter formula. It is entirely different. It's like Pokemon with Monster Hunter. That's the easiest way I can explain it. It's a lot different though. But the graphics, the story, the gameplay, all of it are really good. So I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter Stories 3 being like a top of my list or near the top of my list for Game of the Year this year for sure. It's really good. I'm also not a big Monster Hunter fan at all. So it's definitely changing my opinion a little bit on a lot of things. I've also been playing Majora's Mask on stream for the last few weeks and not really enjoying it. I love Ocarina of Time. One of my favorite games of all time, easily. But Majora's Mask, I never really played back then when I played Ocarina. And so I'm playing it now and I don't know what it is. It doesn't capture my attention at all. I'm not really enjoying it. Like it's a game that I'm pushing myself to finish at this point, which I don't usually have to do for a Zelda game. And lastly, we have Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team, which I played on stream. I don't know where I'm at about this game. I think I'm liking it a little bit more than I should because it's Pokemon, and if it wasn't Pokemon, I probably would have stopped playing by now. But part of me is like, I should push through because I heard that it gets a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see. I played it on stream. We'll probably play it on stream again at some point. But yeah, Mystery Dungeon. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I'm just waiting for it to grab my attention, which it hasn't yet. And there you have it. A lot of you asked what I've been playing. That's my list. That's everything I've been playing. So hopefully that helps. What are you playing? What have you been playing since the start of the year, I guess? Do you have a full list? If you do, put it in the comments. Share everything in the comments. Let's talk about some games that we can play on these devices, which goes for both retro and modern games. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about retro gaming, and hope you all have a good one.